The news is out. They finally found him. That's so stupid. All right, everybody, welcome to our Pittsburgh Podcast presented by Better Call Cy. I am Bill Crawford, and first off, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching episode 1, for liking it, for sharing it with your friends, for all the messages, all the texts, the emails. Thank you so much for all that energy, seriously, because I'll just give you guys a quick peek behind the curtain. March 5th, the night before I was scheduled to do the Byam Theater with Kathleen Madigan, we went out to dinner. And I was telling her that I had this podcast in my head, but I just wasn't ready. I didn't have all the stuff. I didn't have the equipment. I didn't have a producer. I don't have cameras. I don't even have space. And she was like, you have to do it. You have to do it, and you have to do it now. And the next night at the Byam Theater, she introduced me as Bill Crawford from Pittsburgh, who's got a Pittsburgh podcast coming out shortly, just in a couple of weeks, right? So I'm like, I look at her in the wings. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? She's like, don't make me a liar, right? So I just got to work, and in less than a month, we put this thing together. And I'll be honest with you, it's not finished. I mean, I basically painted my daughter's former playroom. I'm sitting in the chair that I got my daughter for Christmas for her vanity from TJ Maxx. I salvaged an area rug that my older daughter threw out and told me that, you know, it's been like 2-3 years since she has a new area rug. Like their iPhones, like all of a sudden Pottery Barn just dropped their 2026 washable performance rugs and she's got to have one. So I dragged that up from the garage. I shop vac it, tried to do what I could to clean it up. And we just sent this thing. Like our logo isn't completely finished. Our song isn't completely finished. And we're going here. And it means everything to me that you guys tuned in, because my least favorite thing in comedy is going from nothing to something, right? Because when it's nothing, it lives in your head. Like you talk to people about it, you're excited about it, but it really hasn't become anything. But my favorite part is going from something to something good. That is my absolute favorite part. And that's what you guys did for us by watching the first episode. You gave us the affirmation that this is something. And so I'm super excited to make this something good. Now we can build on it. So I really appreciate that support. It means everything to me to be able to do this on my own like I'm doing it. To have that support is literally the wind beneath my wings. You consider the wind beneath my wings. I really appreciate it. You know, because I said this when I was training for the Pittsburgh Marathon. There is no way that you could be in the shape that you'll need to be in to run and complete a marathon before you start. There's just no way. And it's the same way with a project like this. There's no way to go from nothing to something good. You have to go from nothing to something before you can go from something to something good. So I'm excited about that process, and I'm totally locked in on it. I'm waking up in the middle of the night just thinking about this podcast now, and really appreciate the early engagement. So we got a ton to get to today. We got Pittsburgh Easter blessings, Buccos home opening weekend, the Buccos sweep the O's, Connor Griffin's debut, Cone Mania, which obviously we're swept up in here at our Pittsburgh Podcast, a new venue on the North Shore, the Plaza just opened, draft news and updates. We got some Pittsburgh cred picks that we're going to share a little bit later. But what a beautiful weekend in Pittsburgh it was. I mean, downtown was absolutely buzzing. I was downtown and in the Strip District Friday and Saturday. I was at the Heinz History Center for Vintage Pittsburgh. I was at the terminal. We were having playa bowls with the girls. And it's incredible to me how far the terminal has come, because I remember the 90s, there was one place that had pizza somebody handed you a slice out of a window of an empty warehouse, and we ate it because we were drunk. But now there's like, it's completely populated. If you haven't been down there, it is amazing. And it got me thinking, I'm kind of glad the weather isn't always great like it was this past weekend. Like, I'm glad our weather mostly sucks, because if it didn't, everybody would move here and we don't have the space. All right, so what else happened on Easter? Oh my God, this is a great story. All right, so I don't know if you guys saw this, and I don't know if you even knew that this was a tradition. Pittsburgh faithful gather on Mount Washington for Easter blessing of the city. Did you see this? 35 years running, 12 Christian leaders of all denominations and backgrounds gathered on the mount, and then basically just like dumped holy water over the city. I love this. And this happened on Saturday. So I don't know if at the end they sang Renegade, you know, because like, let's be honest, historically speaking, biblically speaking, like Saturday, Jesus was down bad. He needed a turnover. And I just wonder if like, I would give anything to hear Renegade sang in church. Like, the jig is up, the news is out, they finally found him. That's so stupid. But seriously, we need to get the deacons, the priests, the bishops, the cardinals. We need Pope Yinzer. We need Steeler Jesus. We need the ministers. We need pastors. We need an all skate to go and do this up and down Carson Street, because our dear beloved Southside is walking through the shadow of the valley of death, the Mon Valley of death right now. And we need some kind of divine intervention. I don't know what the hell's going on down there. There's shootings, you know, institutions are closing up left and right. We got to do something. We got to step in. I don't like seeing the Southside like this. I remember when it was the place to be in the city. I want to see it back to that level, and I don't have any other answers other than this. I mean, we got to get these people, just everybody fill a Camelback with holy water, and we're just going up and down the streets day and night. This has nothing to do with Easter. This has nothing to do with the draft. We just need this. All right, what else do we have to talk about today? Oh my God, home opener for your Pittsburgh Buccos. I mean, what a difference a year makes. Last year, they're flying banners over the city, telling Bob Nutting to sell the team. They're chanting, sell the team, right in his face as he does the Bittersweet Symphony walk of shame up the rotunda. And now, all of a sudden, the excitement was palpable down there on the North Shore. It was absolutely incredible. And one of the things that I thought was interesting and kind of hilarious, I mean, Bob Nutting is not the most self-aware guy that you're going to meet. And he said, opening day is always special. It's always one of my favorite days of the year, watching people come back into the ballpark and welcoming fans back in. But today feels different. It's special for a couple different reasons. I'm like, yeah, I'll give you a couple different reasons. Ryan O'Hearn, okay? Marcelo Zuna, Brandon Lau, Jake Mangum, or however you say his name, Connor Griffin. Like, these are reasons. You kept Mitch Keller. Like, it's not a complicated math. It's a very simple equation. You bumped up your payroll from 80-some million to 120-some million, and everybody's excited. Wow. What a shock. You spent some money. You brought in some bats. I mean, last year, they brought in Tommy Pham, who couldn't see, and Spencer Horowitz, who is a good baseball player, but he sprained his wrist signing the contract, and he kind of sounds like an assistant gym teacher. And this year, you brought in some offense, you bought some bats, you called the kid up, Connor Griffin, to make his debut in the home opener, and you gave the fans something to cheer, and they did, even though they also booed Ozuna, but that doesn't matter. How about this kid, Connor Griffin? I mean, he's 19 years old. I still can't get over that. Like, I was in Baghdad when he was still in his dad's bag. And by the way, when I say I was in Baghdad, I meant for a USO tour, all right? This isn't stolen valor. I'm just saying that I did some dick jokes in Iraq and Kuwait. that I'd love to tell you about sometime. Totally different story. But I can't get over the fact that this kid is 19 years old and he's completely put together. Like, he's already married. How is he already married? He's 19 years. I hope he doesn't have some kind of dormant strand of progeria where he's going to all of a sudden start rapidly aging, and by the end of next season, he's divorced and over the hill. But look, the kid is put together. Scouts who know a ton about baseball are calling this kid the next A-Rod because he has all 5 tools. And I mean, those tools were on display over the weekend. He comes up and just ropes one into the gap. His first at bat, the place goes nuts. He didn't do much the rest of the weekend, but he flashed with the glove. He showed you his speed. He scored from second base, and this is why I love Kevin Gorman. If you guys don't read Kevin Gorman in the Trib, you should. He's my baseball guy. I love just the intricacy, or I love the details in his story. He said that Connor Griffin scored from second in 6.3 seconds. Like, now we're clocking him from second base. I can't even get from the couch to the fridge in 6.3 seconds. So that kid's exciting. And maybe I don't understand how he's doing so well at 19 years old, because when I was 19 years old, I had frosted tips and I was going to raves at the Irish Center. Maybe that's why. I was sitting in a massage toboggan with Vicks Vapo Rub on my chest and a velour tracksuit. All right. So this kid is doing big things, and I'm actually really excited for your Buccos. Plus, I mean, how could we not address it? We got cone mania. This is a real parking cone. This is a real parking cone, and I just want to say this up front. This was obtained legally, as far as you know. No construction sites were compromised with the acquisition of this parking cone. I know we're flex right now. I know that, they're all in rotation, and I'm hoping that this mania doesn't spark people stealing these cones all around town, because the draft is coming up and we need those cones. Don't be a jag-off and steal a cone, all right? Acquire it the right way. Talk to somebody from Penn.Nice, and maybe they might sneak you a cone that, has seen better days. But yeah, I mean, cone mania is going absolutely nuts. You saw people dressed up as cones. Guys are pumping it. You see Paul Skeens with it. It's just absolutely incredible down there. A lot of excitement. And I love this kind of thing, because, like, some people will hate on this. And here's the thing. Baseball season is 162 games long. Like, it's way too long. They need to shorten the season and, back up the start a little bit, maybe, so that it's not like thunder snow when they first start and the Pirates have to start on the road. But they need stuff like this to keep them excited. Like, they'll go stir crazy if they don't have something like this. And they already had a welding mask, which I love. And now they got the traffic cone, which is completely appropriate for Pittsburgh. I'd like to see them finish the trifecta and have a parking chair all the way at the end of the dugout. Like, you smash a home run, you come back in, you put the welder mask on, you pump the cone, and then you sit in the parking chair. Like, that is an epic Pittsburgh celebration. That is awesome. I'm excited about the Buccos this year, but there's so much else to get to. Oh, also down at PNC Park, right across from PNC Park, a new place, Sugarbird, opened. I went down there with my daughter, Emma. Chicken and donuts didn't make a lot of sense to me. Chicken, donuts, ice cream, and booze. But you know what? Honestly, some of the best chicken tendies I've ever had. There was a gentleman there. I don't know if it was a gentleman. I don't want to misgender anybody. It was a fluid situation. And this person had on Lululemon shorts so far up their ass that, they could wear their shorts as a hoodie. And that was incredible to see. Atmosphere down there was electric. Donuts really good, ice cream really good. And also they have it like a huge stage next to Sugarbird. It's called the Plaza, and they just announced that they're going to be having concerts there. Now, here's the crazy thing, is that they're saying that 3,500 people could fit in this plaza. And I don't know, maybe if it was 3,500 malnourished people doing like a human centipede kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe like 3,500 little people, maybe 3,500 cardboard cutouts of people. But I don't see 3,500 people from Pittsburgh fitting in that space. But the space is awesome. And they just announced they're doing a couple concerts in conjunction with Shorty's, the bar on the North Shore down the street. They announced that Nelly, 2 Chainz, and Steve Aoki are going to be performing in the plaza. And this is going to be absolutely insane. Like, I don't know what they're doing. It feels like they're trying to fit 2 Chainz in a half chain bag because I don't know where they're going to perform. Nelly at Shorty's? Are the St. Lunatics coming? Because if they are, we're already at capacity. Forget hot in here. You're going to be able to make weight if you go to this concert at Shorty's. This is a lot of people, and it kind of feels like the time that Billy Ocean came to the Rivers Casino in 2012. They had like this little outside amphitheater, and they're like, we're going to have Billy Ocean perform. And 10,000 people showed up. I don't even know if anybody knew that Billy Ocean was going to be there, but it was so crazy. It was like, Billy Ocean on the river? Did Carnell Lake introduce him? What in the body of water is going on down at the casino? We got to get down there. 10,000 people. So I don't know, 3,500 people. I think a lot more people than that are going to want to see Nelly and 2 Chainz and Steve Aoki, but we'll have to stay tuned on that. That is a developing story. We'll keep doing our work on the streets. We'll give you updates when they come in. Also, this other news story I wanted to get to, Pittsburgh Public is going remote. And I think this is absolutely hilarious because they're basically saying, like, kids, you stay at home. And parents, if you could also stay at home, and then if everybody else could quarantine. We're having a draft, and we've invited more people over than we have room for. So if you guys could just, like, stay put or, go on vacation, go on a diet. If you guys could just do a water fast until the draft, that would be amazing. And if you leave the house, it's going to be a clown car type situation. We need a ride share with everybody on your street. I need you to pile into that car until you have to scratch your ass with your neighbor's hand. I mean, look, here's the thing. I mean, seriously, in theory and in general, I think that a draft coming to your city is the best thing that could happen to your city, right? I mean, it gives you an opportunity to fix shit you should have fixed a long time ago. But the thing is like, where do you cut it off? Because I used to deal with this. My daughter she has a June birthday, so we used to have these big summer blowouts in the backyard. And we got this huge blow up water slide and everything. And I was preparing for it. And at first it was like doing all the stuff that I need to do. Like I'm mulching the landscaping, I'm re-blacktopping and sealing the driveway. But then I got weird and I'm like, I don't know if shop vacuuming the dryer vent and scrubbing the towel and grout in my upstairs bathroom is necessary. And so I just don't know where we're cutting it off. Like, are we painting the Dormont pool? It's empty right now. I don't know if anybody's coming out here. And that got me thinking about a bit that I used to do. Like, as soon as it was announced that Pittsburgh was hosting the draft in 2024, I believe it was, I had this joke about, like, we got 2 years to red up, right? And at the time, Corey O'Connor hadn't even announced his candidacy, right? And I was echoing his dad and sort of channeling Bob O'Connor, who famously coined Red Up. And I just talked about like all the stuff that we have to do. I was like, all right, first off, we got to paint that submarine down by the Science Center. That thing's looking a little rough. I know it's hard to paint stuff that's submerged in water. So if we can't get that thing out of the water, we might have to cut that loose like the Donzi's barge and send that down the Ohio. We got to recarpet all the Clipper boats. They've had the same AstroTurf and those Clipper boats since I went on a fall foliage tour to Katanning with my grandparents in 1997. All right, I got some relationships with some people at Matt Mertz. We got to get a French drain in the bathtub area. We don't have time to be arguing why we have a bathtub area where it should be a car drive area. We don't have enough time. We got to get together. We got to pull all our resources together. Everybody needs to help. We got to get all the scary drug addicts out of Market Square. We got to like Hansel and Gretel some meth out to McKee's Rocks to Erotica or whatever that club is called now, and just, coax all them out there. And as soon as they go in, close the door and lock it behind them. I don't know that anybody loses in this scenario. They get 72 hours of uninterrupted action, and our visitors get to play Connect 4 without their head on a swivel. I think that's pretty nice. And then we got to round up all the tent people and take them on a camping trip to Ligonier. Get them a ride all day past Idlewild. They can have some fun in Storybook Forest. Jump around in the jumping jungle, shower up in the soak zone, back home on Monday. I don't know that anybody loses in that scenario. But you know what? Actually, after I went out to Oakmont last year and I learned about Oakmont's history, which I definitely want to do a deeper dive on, but it is the most Pittsburgh story ever. Henry Clay Phones, the original founder, owned Carey Furnaces on the Mon and Rankin because of course he did. This is Pittsburgh, and even our golf courses were forged in a blast furnace. It's unbelievable. He actually sold Carey Furnaces to Andrew Carnegie and built this golf course to make your great-great-grandfather cry, and basically just made it so that it was tough on purpose. And so after going out there and seeing that and seeing the best golfers in the world literally throw their clubs and say, F this place, like the entire time they were there, all the best golfers in the world absolutely sucked on that course and absolutely hated that course. I started thinking, maybe we should go back to our most formidable. Maybe we should go back to the steel mill factory settings and just make Pittsburgh incredibly harsh. Like maybe we should just turn all the mills back on. We round up all the tent people, and not only do we not move them, but we arm them with coleslaw cannons. I'm not talking anything crazy, just some Pittsburgh confetti for any of our visitors that wants to take a nice stroll down the jail trail. I think we should have ushers from PNC Park belt whipping people at the airport. I do. I think we should set the Liberty Bridge on fire. Again, I think we should blow the Greenfield Bridge back up. I think we should knock the Frick Park Bridge back down. We can't make it easy to get around. We got to make them earn it. I think they should close the tunnels at random. And I know what you're thinking. They already do that. But this time, do it with cars in there. Open up the sinkhole downtown. Put that bus back in there. Rip 28 back up. Okay? Have the NFL fan zone out at Pittsburgh Mills. Let's see how fast your kid is running the 40 through potholes. This is Pittsburgh. You want to have a draft here? Okay. Well, then you're going to do it on a stage in front of a burning bridge with a river that looks like a backed up toilet while it's raining soot and angry Yinzers are chanting, sell the team in everybody's face who steps to the podium. I don't know. Maybe it's better to just make it nice. I think it's probably better to just make it nice. Oh, I saw this other story that I want to get to. A box truck causing damage in the Fort Pitt tunnels. What are we doing? Okay, take that shit to the Liberty Tubes. We're already behind. We're not going to finish the stuff we got going on. We can't be sidetracked by more stuff. All right, you got to measure your box trucks. We can't be routing people through the West End. As far as I know, that's our junk drawer. I don't know. I don't know that that's not where we're putting everything that's not done yet. Our guests are coming into the airport and they're going straight down the road through the tunnels so that they can get the full experience. All right, the full Monty of Pittsburgh, and we can't have it closed down. So smarten up. So that's all the headlines we got for you this week. There's a ton going on, and there's so many personal things that I still want to share with you guys about sort of how this podcast came to be. And one of them is the partnerships that have allowed me to do this. And the first one that I formed was with Cy, Better Call Cy. It's one of those relationships where, doing his spots on the radio over the years. It went from a personal relationship to really a friendship. I mean, he came and supported me at a bunch of my comedy shows, invited me to Steeler games. We tailgated some. We went to a bunch of games together. He's such a Pittsburgh guy. He loves the city so much, and we became friends. So whenever I was making the jump, I called him just to say, hey, man, thank you so much for everything you did. It was an honor to voice your ads and to be a part of that partnership. And he was like, well, hang on a second, where are you going? And I was like, I'm just going to try to go do my own thing. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. And he was like, I'm in. And you need that kind of blind support if you're going to do something like I just did. And he made a really potentially scary situation just fun almost right away. So I can't thank Better Call Cy enough. He's the presenting sponsor on this podcast. And we got together and we just started talking. And, Cy has made a career on showing up for people. And he was like, what do you want to do? And we started talking and found something that we're both passionate about, which is putting our hand in the pile in the community. So we developed Calling for Helpers, which is trying to just spotlight local charities that are doing great work in our city and try to bridge the gap between these organizations that are doing incredible work and people that want to help. Because when I first got onto the radio or just was a young adult, I always wanted to help, but I just didn't know how to bridge that gap. I didn't know how to get involved. And so this is sort of trying to be that help. And so Calling for Helpers, we're obviously inspired by Fred Rogers and not just trying to find the helpers, but being the helpers and then calling on other helpers. And our first one was at the food bank. The food bank is absolutely tremendous. And it's so easy to sign up and go put some time in there. Every time I've gone into that building, I come out feeling better. They're doing such tremendous work in that facility down in the shadows of Kennywood. Highly recommend you and your spouse, you and your kid, if your child is old enough, you and your friends, you and your coworkers, like go to the food bank, support them. And another group that reached out almost immediately was Iron City. Rhonda Zigarelli, who I have such a funny, random Pittsburgh story about. She is their VP of marketing at Iron City. And she called me and she said, hey, we'd love to come in. We'd love to work with you, just meet with you and see what's going on. And so I went and toured their brewery up in Creighton, PA. And it is an absolutely incredible facility. It's 170,000 square feet. This place is top notch. And I'm actually going to be out there the 23rd, the first night of the draft. They're having the official draft watch party of WTAE. WTAE is going to be out there doing a live broadcast. I believe most of the VIP is already sold out, but general admission tickets are still available. So get those. We're going to be out there. It's going to be an absolute party. I'm going to be out there. My buddy Vinny from VC2 Art is going to be out there doing a live painting. The legend Ron Mahoney is going to be out there, the legendary illustrator. Matt Light is going to be hosting this thing, plus a cast of characters from WTAE. So that's going to be so fun. They're going to have food trucks, fan zone type situation, big, huge, big screens. I mean, they got a big screen down there in their tap room that is as big as the Jumbotron down St. Acroshores. It's huge. And so that's going to be really fun. And honestly, it's a great way to watch the first night of the draft because it is going to be insane down on the North Shore. And most Pittsburgh people are like, there's no way I'm going down there. So come up to Creighton, PA. There's tons of room. There's outside areas. There's a huge tap room, and it's a really cool space. I hope you check that out on the 23rd. Also, I'm going to be doing Behind the Brew with them. It's a video series telling Iron City stories. I mean, they have 160 years of history to talk about. And we're doing this Behind the Brew thing. Nick Lockerman is the videographer for this project. And it has been so awesome to meet and work with Nick. He is incredible. What he did with this is truly like documentary level good. And we got to talk to Ron at the brewery. We got invited to his house where he invited us into his home studio where all the magic happens. I gave him a ride on a cart through the brewery, and now Ron Mahoney is my best friend. He's been illustrating beer cans for Iron City for 50 years, and so I can't wait for that story to come out. Stay tuned for that. I will be posting that on my YouTube and on my socials. And also, I'm training for the Pittsburgh Marathon because, I'm not doing enough stuff. So why not train for a full marathon? I'm training with my niece, Chloe, and we have some updates for you. We're both kind of banged up right now, as you would be training for a full marathon. But I have a partnership with P3R and the Pittsburgh Marathon, and Troy Schooley over there has been a friend of mine and such a huge help and support over the years. He used to work at iHeart before iHeart was iHeart, back when it was Clear Channel, and then he went over to P3R, and now he's doing incredible things with the Pittsburgh Marathon, and they're also planning and doing all the logistics for the NFL draft. So he's a big deal, and he's a friend, and he's really been a tremendous help to me personally. And so I'm doing this social media campaign with them. And if you sign up for they have a draft day 5K that's going to be down around the stadium and the surrounding areas during draft weekend. So if if you want to sign up for that draft 5K, I think that would be a really fun thing to do. You see the city all dolled up, but you don't have to deal with the madness that will be happening down there in the evening. So the draft day 5K is happening. And if you want to register for the draft day 5K or the Pittsburgh Marathon, or really any of their weekend of events, you can use CRC25 and get 25% off. So that's pretty cool. All right, now, as promised, we got to get to our Pittsburgh cred picks. And so this first one comes from Tim Bomba, who is sending this in and listening from the West Coast. Thank you, Tim, for listening from the West Coast. Appreciate it. Appreciate the engagement. Okay, so the first one that he sent me is just a picture of a hard hat from U.S. Steel's Claret and Coke Work, the Coke ovens, making money for school. Okay. That's an awesome pick, but it's just the helmet there on the carpet. And then the second one is the terrible towel that's always on display somewhere. So here's my thing, okay, Tim, I love the pictures. Obviously, like, you send in a U.S. Steel's Claret and Coke Works Coke oven helmet, instant Pittsburgh cred, right? But you send in a picture of you wearing said hard hat with the terrible towel over your shoulder, standing in front of the Coke ovens. Now we got a 5-star Yinzer pick. Okay. So just keep that in mind if you want to send one back in. I give that one 2 out of 5. I don't want to be harsh on these ratings because I want people to still send them in. I'm not here to roast these. I'm just here to say, all right, look, I'm rating them. You sent them to me. I think the hard hat has clearly been through a lot, and it's awesome. And the terrible towel is an old school throwback towel. Just, start to layer these things now. This is Pittsburgh cred, so we want to be piling things up on top of each other. Okay. The next one is actually sent in from a childhood buddy of mine, Mike Moran. And this one is so authentically Pittsburgh. I mean, you want to talk about Pittsburgh cred. First of all, his dad was the man, and he's rocking the Terry Bradshaw jersey, the old school Terry Bradshaw jersey, sitting in a room with wood paneling and those ugly ass plaid couches. And then my boy Mike is in like a Steeler onesie. I mean, that's cred. That's Pittsburgh cred right there. Like, you have the ability to pull that out on anybody. I don't know if you have this in your wallet, but you should, because you're a baby and you're a fan of the team. Like, how far back does your fandom go? Out of the womb. So I give this picture 5-star. This is a 5-star Yinzer pick right here. All right, the next one we got is my buddy Chris Conicella. Conicella's Pizza in Greenfield on Greenfield Avenue. Now it's Capizzuto's. Okay, Conicella's was legendary. Their pizza bagels were unbelievable. Their pizza bagels were so good that you can still get them at Capizzuto's. He didn't want to mess with a good thing, so he kept the pizza bagels going. Still one of my favorite things in the city, the pizza bagels at Conicella's and now Capizzuto's. But he has a pic of him holding a terrible towel in front of the Coliseum, which I think is just funny. I mean, you deserve Yinzer points for that. Like anybody that's carrying our flag or our towel across the world, yeah. Now, I give that a 4. Now, I would give it a 5 if you were rocking a Joey Porter jersey. Like you have a jersey on and the towel and maybe even a hat, like Penguins hat, and then you're just crossing the streams and doing it crazy Yinzer style, then we're talking 5 stars. All right, what else we got here? Okay, this one is coming from Aaron and Jim, originally from the North Hills, who also have their own YouTube show called Yinzology. Got to shout out that show. Thank you, fellas, for listening to the first ep. They sent me a picture with famous Ted, the Steelers superfan. Now, if you've been to a game or even if you're watching games on TV, you've seen this dude, Ted. He sits in formerly the open end of the end zone, sort of in the corner there, and he's always like banging things. He just looks like a Pittsburgh creative player. Like he looks like he definitely worked in the mill, or maybe even was conceived there. I don't know his story, but yeah, this picture is fantastic. Now here's the thing. It's at a Steeler game in a Steeler jersey with a Steeler super fan, but does that really separate you? You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people have that picture. So I'm going to give you a 3.5 with room for improvement. I think, you got to do a little bit more to separate yourself. I still love it. I mean, it's not like I don't love it. I'm just saying you can do just a little bit more. All right. And our last one was sent to me by Tyler Bloomling. Shout out to the Bloomling family, man. This is an incredible family. They're spread all across the country. They listen to DVE from all across the country. I love this family. Tyler was my daughter's teacher, and I'm a big fan of his dad, Tommy Sunshine. So basically, he sends me this picture. This picture is absolutely badass. Like this one out of all these pictures gave me goosebumps. 2016, the USS Chung Hoon, I hope I'm saying that right, guided missile destroyer returns to Pearl Harbor after a 6-month deployment. While deployed, the Pens won the cup and returned with this greeting, all right? Penn Stanley Cup champion flag flying from the watch deck. Pittsburgh pride is truly worldwide. Okay, so look, the context of this picture is that is his sister, Katie Sheldon, and her kids. His sister is now a rear admiral with the Navy. I don't know what a rear admiral is. That actually sounds like a euphemism that's not cool. I don't know what she did to not be a front admiral, but I think it's still pretty important. And now she's vice commander also of the 7th Fleet. And then his brother-in-law, Vic Sheldon, was the CO, the chief officer of the Chung Hoon in 2016 when this picture took place. He's now the captain. No, he's not the captain now. Like he didn't, steal the ship or anything like a Somali pirate, but he is a captain in the Navy. That's awesome. The kids are sitting there. The one kid's got the fake Stanley Cup. They got this picture is incredible. They got the Penguins flag, the American flag, and the kid is hoisting the Stanley Cup above his head, and it's clearly a Pittsburgh hat. I can't tell what it is, but it's yellow. That is awesome. That is our winner for this week. I didn't mean for it to be the last pick and the winner, but that is absolutely tremendous. Keep those Pittsburgh cred picks coming. ourpittsburghpodcast at gmail.com. That is it for episode 2. Thank you guys again so much for tuning in. Please like this. Please subscribe to our YouTube page. Please share this with all of your friends and family. Go door to door. Just, I don't know, help us spread the word. We're doing a podcast and it's ours. It's all of ours. It's our Pittsburgh Podcast. We'll have another one next Tuesday. I'll see you next Tuesday.